Guys, welcome back. We had completed entry number 13. We have started journal entries for question number 6. All these journal entries step by step we had completed, and we have reached till 13th entry. Let's see what next entry is saying. Entry number 17 is next entry, paid cash to Javed. Entry saying paid cash to Javed and discount received. Complete entry, we can see paid cash to Javed and discount received. Since we are paying, what does that mean? Cash is going out, cash in hand is decreasing, cash in hand is your asset is decreasing, decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of cash over here. To whom you have paid this cash? Paid cash to Javed. Javed was the person. It's just the name. Javed was the person to whom you have paid this as this cash. Javed was account payable because you are paying it. Javed was account payable. That means he was the person to whom amount was payable. Now you have paid this amount to account payable. Account payables are your liabilities. After payment, your liability has been decreased. Decrease in liability should be debited. So you are mentioning name of Javed on debit side, as after payment he is no more your account payable, no more liability. Decrease in liability should be debited. So you have mentioned name of your account payable on debit side. One thing extra has been mentioned in this question, and what is that? We are doing 17th entry, paid cash to Javed and discount received. Discount received mean it's a good news, it's your income. Income should always be credited. So what you will do, you will write discount on credit side. Okay, discount received you can mention, but let's see if we have a proper place for it. नहीं, जगह अगेन थोड़ी सी कम है, तो आप यहाँ पर जस्ट राइट डाउन डिस्काउंट रिसीव्ड, शॉर्टर वर्जन. नाउ लेट्स पुट द अमाउंट. एंट्री नंबर 17 है. फर्स्ट वी शुड मेंशन द डेट and that is 17. Okay. Come to 17, paid cash 3700. How much cash has been paid? It is 3700, so you will write 3700 in front of cash. All right, and next amount is discount received, which is 300. So put 300 in front of discount. Entry has been completed, but they haven't mentioned how much amount should be present on Javed's account or Javed's column or account payables column. Amount has not been mentioned, but we do know that debit and credit side would always be equal. So what we will do, how much amount is present in credit side? 3700 and 300. We will add both, and finally we will write the sum of credit side. Amounts present on credit side were 2, 3700 and 300. You had summed up 3700 and 300, total amount 4000 you have mentioned in front of Javed. In this way, entry number 17 has been completed. Now let's see what next entry is. We have entry number 19. What it is saying, withdrawn from bank for business use. क्या एंट्री कह रही है? Withdrawn from bank for business use. You have drawn amount from the bank for business use. If you have withdrawn amount from the bank, amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset. Amount, since you have withdrawn, your bank account is decreasing, asset is decreasing, decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of bank over here. Since you have drawn this amount for business use, after as you have drawn amount from the bank, what you have received is cash. Cash in hand is increased. Increase in cash in hand mean increase in asset. Increase in asset should be debited, so you have mentioned name of cash on debit side. So entry has been completed. Let's see what entry date it was. After 17, date was 19, so you will mention here 19. Now let's see, the amount which is drawn from the bank is 20,000. So here you will mention amount 20,000 over here. on debit side, and same amount you will write on credit side. Entry number 19 has been completed. Let's see what is next. Entry number 21 we have, and what it is saying, purchase goods and paid by check. This is your entry, purchase goods and paid by check. Again you are buying goods. Buying goods mean goods are increasing. Goods are your near asset. Asset is increasing. You were supposed to write goods over here, but in accounting we do not write goods, we write working in place. We are buying goods, so what you will say, working is purchase. Goods was just a reference, it is unnecessary to write over here, you can raise it. So since we have bought goods or purchased goods, we have mentioned purchase over here. And from whom you have bought these commodities? Purchase goods for, entry number was 21. First thing first, entry number was 21, and we have purchased these goods and paid by check. You are not paying cash, you have issued a check. And what next step would be, to whom you have issued this check, he will go to the bank, will present that check, and will withdraw amount from your bank account. Amount present in your bank account would be decreased. Bank account is your asset, mean asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention name of bank on credit side. This was your entry number 21. We should have written date at first step. And how much amount is present for 21 is 14,000. So you will write 14,000 on debit side, and same amount would be written on credit side. In this way entry number 21 is completed. What is next? Entry number 23. So you will mention date first on. Entry number 23 is saying sold goods for rupees 10,000 and receive the amount in cash. And receive amount in cash. You have sold goods and received cash. When you will sell your commodities, goods are going out. Goods are your near asset. If you are selling your goods, mean goods are decreasing. There is decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited. We were supposed to write goods over here as they are increasing, but in accounting, as you know, we do not write goods, we write working in place of goods. And what working we are doing? We are selling, so you will mention sales over here. Goods is unnecessary over here, it was just a reference, you can raise it. Goods are sold in 23rd entry and received amount in cash. You have received cash, it means cash in hand is increasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be debited, so you will mention cash on debit side. Now we will see what is amount of 23rd entry, that is 10,000. So you will write 10,000 on debit side, and same amount you will write on credit side of this journal entry. This way 23rd entry has been completed. What is next? 25th. So you will mention 25th entry over here. And what 25th entry is saying? Paid rent by check. Paid rent by check. You are paying rent, it means rent is your expense, and expense side is fixed, which is debit side. So you will mention name of rent over here. And now second part is very important. You have paid this rent by check. You are not paying cash. The person to whom rent was payable, you have drawn or issued a check and delivered to him. He will go to your bank account, will present that check. This way amount would be withdrawn from the bank. Amount present in bank will be decreased. Bank is your asset, it means asset is decreased. Decrease in asset should be credited, so you will mention your bank account on credit side as amount has been decreased in bank account. Entry completed. Let's see how much amount of 25th entry, that is 1400. So here you will mention the amount 1400 on debit side, and same amount you will be writing on your credit side. This way entry number 25th is completed. Now let's see what next entry is. After 25 we have 27. We will mention date first. 27 is saying received from Asif. This is 27. Received from Asif 11,800 and discount allowed. Discount allowed mean we have allowed the discount. Whenever you will allow discount, it means amount which was receivable would be reduced. It is your expense. Expense should be mentioned on debit side. दोबारा भी इसकी बात करते हैं. फिलहाल we are focused on received rupees 11,800 from Asif. You are receiving cash. That means cash in hand is increasing. Cash in hand is your asset. Asset is increasing. Increase in asset should be debited. So you will mention cash on debit side. Now the second thing which we have already discussed is the discount. Discount is being allowed from by us. When we will allow discount, amount received or amount receivable would be reduced. Reduced mean it is your expense. So discount allowed is an expense which would be written on debit side. Wherever cash is, discount will always be on the same side. Cash is debit, discount is also debit, but discount allowed we have understood is an expense. Expense side is debit. That is why you have written name of discount on debit side. From whom you have received this cash? Entry number 27 is saying you have received this cash from Asif. Asif was the person from whom amount was receivable. Now you have received it. Account receivable, Asif was your asset because amount was receivable. Now you have received that cash, is no more your account receivable, no more your asset. Decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of Asif on credit side. Though we know he is your account receivable or asset. He was your account receivable or asset. After receiving the amount from him, he is no more your asset. Decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of Asif on credit side. It's time to put the amount. 27th entry. 11,800 is the amount which we have received. That means cash. So you will mention 11,800 in front of cash. What is next? Discount allowed is 200. So you will mention 200 in front of discount. And as usual, amount for Asif is not present in the book. Question has been completed and there is no amount mentioned in front of Asif, but at the same time, we know that debit and credit side will always be equal. How much amount is present on debit side? You can see 11,800 and 200. So it should be equal to the credit side. We have summed it up and sum of these two items is 12,000. In this way, you can see debit side and credit side is equalized. Though amount for Asif was not mentioned, but we have indirectly calculated the amount of debit should be equal to amount of credit side. We have summed up the amounts present on debit side and same sum has been written on credit side. Entry number 27 has been completed. Let's see what is next after 27 is 29. So we will mention date first, 29. All right, what 29 is saying? Deposited into the bank rupees 6,000. What you have done? You have deposited cash into the bank. When you are depositing cash into the bank, it means amount present in your bank account would be increased. Bank account is your asset, means asset is increased. Increase in asset should be debited. So you will mention name of bank on debit side. Acha ji. How you have deposited your amount? You have paid cash. It means cash in hand has been decreased. Decrease in cash ka matlab decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of cash on credit side. Achha ji. Now let's see how much amount of 29th entry. It is 6,000. So you will mention 6,000 over here. And same amount would be written on credit side of this transaction. 6,000, 6,000. Entry number 29 is completed. Let's see what is next for 29. After 29, we have 31. Paid for stationery 300. Again, you are paying. When you will pay, it means cash in hand is decreasing. No, first we should have written the date, and that's what we have done. Okay, entry was paid stationery for rupees 300. When you are paying, it means cash is going out, cash in hand is decreasing. Decrease in cash means decrease in asset. Decrease in asset should be credited. So you will mention name of cash over here. And for what you have paid the cash, that is stationery expense. Stationery can be dealt with two different ways. If you consider that your stationery like papers, ballpoints, if you are not using them, that is your asset. Increase in asset should be debited. You are buying your asset, increase in asset should be debited, so you can mention stationery on your debit side. One thing. Secondly, when you will buy stationery, it would be used. If used stationery you want to mention, it is an expense and expense should be debited. In both ways, stationery would be debited. So entry would be stationery to cash. Let's see how much amount for 30th entry is. That is 300. So you will mention 300 over here on debit side, and same amount you will post on credit side. Alright, now you can see 30th entry has been completed and last entry was, okay, 31. Please excuse. 31 was the last entry and we have completed 31 entries. And what we have done up till now, I want to show it. Step by step we have moved, and look at that. These many journal entries we have completed. All of these entries are completed well with the dates and with the amount, or formalities have been put out, or formalities have been completed out. Journal entry is completed, it means half of the part of the question has been completed, and we are now targeted to convert these journal entries into ledgers. That means we will post amount of these journal entries into this cash book. We have two side, debit and credit side, and we will post all of these journal entries into cash book. This is our second step. Consider it like we have completed the part 2 of this question, and we will meet after a short break for the solution of this question, when we will solve, when we will post the amounts present uh, in this journal. We will post the amount present in this journal into the cash book. So we will meet you soon, very soon. Take a short break. Please wait a bit for the next part. Thank you very much.